this video, I'm going to show how to perform arithmetic operations using fractions. So in the first problem, we have to add or we have to multiply some mixed numbers. So whenever you have mixed number, the first step is convert the mixed numbers into improper fractions. So improper fractions are the fractions in which numerator is greater than denominator. So let's convert 3 and 7 over 8. So this into improper fraction. So 3 times 8 is 24. So we multiply these two numbers together and then we add the number that is in the numerator of the fractional part. So plus 7. So we have 3 times 8, that is 24, plus 7, that is 31, divided by our denominator 8. Similarly, the next one is 2, 1 over 3rd, 1 over 3. So 2 times 3 is 6, plus 1, 7. And the denominator is 3. So we have 7 over 3. Similarly, the last one is 5 and 1/9. 5 times 9 is 45, plus 1 is 46. And the denominator is 9. So 46 over 9. Even equation becomes, so I'm writing 31 over 8. In the bracket we have negative 7 over 3. And the whole thing is in the bracket. And then we have 46 over 9. Alright, so now since we are using the BADMAS, the order of operations, so it means we need to solve the brackets first. So in order to solve this bracket, we need to add or subtract these two fractions together. So we have to make the common denominator. So next step is make the denominators same. So in this case, our denominators are 8 and 3. So 8 can be written as 2 times 2 times 2, so 2 cube, and 3 can be written as 3. So there is nothing really common. So our lowest common denominator, so we list our distinct factors 2 and 3 and take the highest power of each of them. The highest power of 2 is 3 and the highest power of 3 is 1. So our lowest common denominator is 24. So that means we need to make 24 here. So I'm just going to rewrite this and show you how to make the common denominators. We have negative 7 over 3. And this whole thing is inside the bracket. 46 over 9. So in order to make 24, we need to multiply by 3 in the denominator. So whatever you do in the denominator, do the same operation in the numerator, so that we get the equivalent fractions. So we can divide or multiply with the same number in the numerator as well as in the denominator. Similarly, here we have 3 times 8, that is 24. So we have to also multiply by 8 in the numerator. So in the next step we get, so 31 times 3 is 93 over 24. And when we multiply a positive with a negative, so negative sign, and then we have 56 over 24 times 56 over 9. All right, so now since we have the same common denominator, so denominator is 24, so subtract the numbers in the numerator, so we get this. And in the next step, so 93 minus 56 is 37 over 24 times 46 over 9. So this is the multiplication of fractions. So in case of multiplication of fractions, what we do, so just a little reminder. So first we simplify and then we multiply numerators together and denominators together. So in this case, in order to simplify it, so we know that between 24 and 46, 2 is a common factor, so we can divide by 2 here, and same thing we can do divide by 2. So that gives us 37 over 12 times 23 over 9. And now we multiply, we cannot simplify anymore, so we multiply the numerators together, denominators together, and we have 851 over 108. And since in the beginning it tells us to give our answer in the lowest term, so in this case we cannot reduce it further. So this is already in lowest terms. We cannot take any common factor anymore. So I hope that makes sense. So if there are any mixed numbers, first convert those into improper fractions and then follow the BEDMAS rules. And if you have to add or subtract two fractions, make sure you make the common denominator. And for the multiplication of fractions, first simplify, then multiply the numerators together and multiply the denominators together. Let's do one more similar problem. So in this one, we are given -3, and then the next fraction has many factors on the top and many factors on the denominator. So 2 times 4 is 8, 8 times 3 is 24. So we have a negative sign, so we have -24, and 9 times 6 is 54. And then we have -9 times -3, that is 27. 5 times 2 is 10 in the denominator. And in the next step, so -3 as it is, then we have this negative times negative, so that becomes positive, and we have 24 over 54, 27 over 10. So before we try to add or subtract these fractions, we can simplify if it is possible. So I can see that I can divide by 2 here. So if I divide by 2, so I will get 12 on the top and 27 on the bottom. And then I can go further with 3. So basically I can just divide by 6 and simplify it. So we get -3 plus 4 over 9 plus 27 over 10. And now it's a matter of simply adding or subtracting the fractions. You could have started this problem like in other way as well. So other start would have been, so I'm just going to rewrite the problem. So we have -3. So I'm just rewriting the whole thing. So first we could have simplified it. So we would have cancelled any common factors. So 3 times 3 is 9. 2 times 3 is 6. Similar in the second one, we cannot cancel anything. So from here, we could have got -3, and then negative times negative is +4 on the top. 3 times 3 is 9 on the bottom. And similarly, 9 times 3, 27, positive, and then 10. So we got the same thing. So it's up to you how you're going to start your problem. So we get up to this point, and now we have to add or subtract the fractions. So let's see what's the lowest common denominator. So our denominators are 9. So 9 can be written as 3 square, and 10 can be written as 2 times 5. So in this case, there is really nothing common. So lowest common denominator is, so all the distinct factor 2, 3, 5 and their highest powers. So the highest power of 3 is 2. So we get 90. So let's try to make 90 here. So -3. I'm just going to rewrite this whole thing so that I can make 90 in the denominator. So in order to make 90 in the denominator here, so I need to divide by 90, and also I'm going to multiply by 90. Similarly, I need to multiply by 10 in the denominator. I'm going to do the same thing on the top and multiply by 9 and 9. So now for all the fractions, we get 90 as the denominator. So we get negative 270 over 90 plus 40 over 90 plus 243 over 90. So now all our denominators are same. So write the denominator once and the numbers on the top, add and subtract as required. So we get 13 over 90 in the end, because 243 plus 40 is 283. 283 minus 270 would be 13. So this is our required answer, and it is already in the lowest terms, so we cannot do any further cancellation or anything. So that is our final solution. Let's try one more problem. So in this one, we also need to do division of the fractions. All right, so first we start with converting our mixed number to improper. So convert mixed number to improper fraction. So in this case, we have 2 and 5 over 24. So 2 times 24 is 48. 48 plus 5 is 53. So 53 over 24. So we have 53 over 24 divided by 5 over 12 minus 1 over 4. And now in order to solve the bracket first, because we are following BADMAS, first we need to take care of the bracket. Here we need to subtract the two fractions. So the lowest common denominator between 12 and 4 would be 12, because 12 is equal to 4 times 3, so it already contains 4. So let's try to make our lowest common denominator. So same denominator. We have 12 here already. So in order to make 12 in the second bracket or second fraction, we multiply by 3 on the top and on the bottom. 5 over 12. And then we have minus 3 over 12. So we can just do minus 3 here. And 12 is the common denominator. Then we have 53 over 24 divided by 2 over 12. So now between 2 and 12, 2 is the common factor, so I can divide by 2 on the numerator and on the denominator. So we get 53 over 24 divided by 1 over 6. So whenever you have a division of fractions problem, you can always convert that into multiplication problem. So just a recall. So if you have A over B divided by C over D, so we write A over B as it is, then we change the sign to multiplication and we flip the second fraction. So we're going to flip this, so it's D over C. So that's how we solve the division of fractions. So in this case, we change the sign to multiplication and flip the second fraction. Flip the second fraction and we change the sign to multiply. Okay, so now let's see if there are any common factors. So we can divide by 6. So 6 times 4 is 24. So in the end, we get 53 times 1 over 4 times 1. So 53 over 4 in the lowest terms. That is our final answer. I hope that makes sense. So whenever we use the BADMAS, so we always do the multiplication or division, whatever comes first from left to right. Just keep that in mind. So if you have addition or subtraction of fractions, you need the same denominator. If it is not same, so make the common denominator. And in case of division of fractions, you change that into a multiplication problem by changing the sign and also flipping the second fraction. That's all for now. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like it, please hit the like button. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.